I bring you greetings, my viewer, this moment, and I want to really thank you so much for taking time to watch this YouTube channel. I'm very grateful for your continued support. I want us today to bring to you something that I've observed among many students that contributes to either their success or failure in the exams. And having been a teacher for the last 17 years, I have observed very many students pass the exams and others fail. And you'll agree with me, my dear viewer and student, that none of us ever goes to the school or to a class to prepare on how to fail. But unfortunately, most of us or some of us end up failing. I have taken time to ask, what are some of the reasons why students fail exams? And one of the things that have come out so well is that there is lack of preparedness, or there is poor exam preparedness. And that is what I would want us to discuss today. I would want to give you my thoughts on how you need to prepare for the exams. As I've said, my name is Kimani. I'm a lecturer at Destiny Technical Training Institute. We are located here at the Bazaar Plaza, 11th floor, at the junction of Moi Avenue and Biashara Street. Now, exam preparedness. That is what I want us to discuss. And I want to begin by saying that exam is the ladder to greatness. Most of us fear exams. But if you want to ever achieve any greatness in your life in any aspect, you cannot avoid the issue of exams. And if you cannot avoid the issue of the exams, then it becomes paramount for you to know how well do you prepare for the exam, so that when the exam comes, you finally pass and you get to your desired level of greatness. Now, for you to prepare, you must have planned so well. So you must do something we call planning. Planning is key in preparedness. And you know very well, they normally tell us that when you are failing to plan, you are actually planning to fail. When you are failing to plan, you are planning to fail. Now, it is important that you plan your work so well. It is also important, after you have come up with your plan, you get time and work out your plan. Unfortunately, most of us, we are very good and very effective in planning, but we don't get time to work out the plan. I want us to take through the process, or to go through the process and see what is actually entailed. And at this point, my viewer, I want to remind you that planning is the process of thinking about the activities that are required to be done in order to achieve a desired goal. It is the process of thinking more about the activities that are required to be done so that you can be able to achieve a desired goal. In our case here, our goal, which is the end result, is passing the exam. Passing the exam is our goal. So we need to think, what are these activities that must be done so that we are able to finally pass the exams? Now, this planning, it involves 5 or 4 main steps, 4 main issues that I want to discuss for today. 1, you must know what needs to be done. Number 2, when will it be done? Number 3, how will it be done? And number 4, who is going to do it? So I want us to go through those 4 questions and try to deliberate more on them. Number 1, what needs to be done? Now, in the question of what needs to be done, you need to know, like in this semester, how many papers have you booked for? How many units are you sitting for? What is the volume of each paper? What is the volume of each paper? And how difficult is this paper? Is it a computational paper? Is it a theoretical paper? And when you understand how many papers, the volume, how difficult, whether it is theory or mathematics, that now sets you to start working on the paper or the subject. And I want to recommend a formula that is usually recommended in academic circles. We call it SQ3Rs. is a five-step process that we go through in our study. Step number 1, S, represents survey. Now, when you are doing survey, we say you are paying attention to the layout, to the chapters in your subject, to the sections, to any graphs, to any pictures that are in bold and in italic. You identify the important information about the content of the text. That is what you are reading. The stage of survey gives you an overview and the structure. It serves as the foundation for active reading and understanding of the text. That is what we call the first step. When you read a book for the first time, we call it survey. When you read for the second time, we call it question. This is where, my viewer, you start asking yourself some questions about the text, what you have read. You turn the chapter into questions. You write down some of the questions, and you start asking yourself what you already know about what you have read, and you ask about what is the goal for reading the text. Why am I reading? What is expected of me? You try to understand what is the author saying, what is the teacher saying, what does the examiner look for, what is required of me. So you raise so many questions about that. Now that is done when you are reading your book for the second time. When you read for the third time, that is now when we say you are reading. Now the third step, or the third reading that we normally do, it is where now you read actively. It is where you write additional questions on top of what you had written in step 2. And you try to find answers to the questions that you raised in step 2. The questions that you raised in step 2, you start now to look for the answers in the subject. And you take time to understand now even the more complicated parts of your paper. And this now will help you understand, will help you comprehend the subject matter of what it is that you are doing. Then from there, the fourth time, when you are reading for the fourth time, we say that you are reciting. We call it recite. Now, to recite means you are repeating loudly. You can even start like talking to yourself. Don't worry, you can even get a place where you are alone and you start talking to yourself, memorizing, speaking of what you have read in a loud way. And when you speak of something, you get it better into your brains. You understand it better. So this is where you again continue asking you more questions. Have you understood? Have you gotten to know what was required? And this is the stage at which, my viewer, you need now to have some friends with whom you can form a discussion group. Now, this discussion group will help you speak out the materials. As you explain to your friends in the discussion group about what you read, those materials are getting into your memory, into your brains, and you are understanding it more. So the stage number 4, when you are reading for number 4, we call it recite. It is about more of imagination. It's about even looking for more support about that. And then when you read for the fifth time, it is when now we call it review. And you are trying to read all the relevant parts. You are looking at the main parts now, the ones that you think the examiner could bring, the ones that you think maybe you never understood so well, so you pay attention to them. That is called review. That is step number 5. So in the question of what needs to be done, I've told you need to read 5 good times. At times I tell my students that and they find it weird, but that is a recommended formula. Actually, we say if you read your subject 5 good times and you fail, you should never come back. You have no ability to pass that paper. But unfortunately, most of us, we go to the exam when we have already done the survey. You have just read once or you have read twice. You are at the point of the questions. So you need to do those 5 steps. SQ3Rs. Point number 2, or question number 2, is when is it to be done? Now you need to start revising early. I see many students are taking a lot of time and waiting for the last minute. There are those of us who tell me, Mwalim, the last minute can save a man. I agree to that. But it's not every last minute that can save a man. The earlier, the better. The early bird catches the worm. So if you can be able to begin early, it will be very, very beneficial to you, my viewer. The last minute cramming can be dangerous. It is not productive. you need to give yourself ample time. You need to revise, to plan your revision so that you take the best advantage of time. And in this, when it's to be done, you also need to know what is the best time for you to study. Is it in the early morning? Is it in the afternoon? Is it in the evening? Is it at night? You need to know what is the best time for you to study. And then you allocate time. You allocate your time well. And you allocate time to the subjects, and all the subjects may not be allocated all the time equally, but you need to allocate depending on the complexity and the volume that we identified in question number 1. The third question that I want us to look at is, how will it be done as we prepare for the exams? How are we going to do it? And in how we are going to do it, the first thing that you need to check is what will be the which materials will I use? Am I going to go to the class to get the class notes? Am I going to use textbooks in the libraries? Am I going to watch videos? Am I going to do the research from the internet? How will you get your materials? Will you go to the class for lecturing? Will you form private or other discussion groups? Will you study privately? So you need to know, how will I do it? And on asking how you shall do it, it is also important to get to know, where will you do it? Like maybe you want to join a college, like now here at Destiny Technical Training, we welcome you to join us. We can be able to take you through the exam preparedness. We can be able to teach you and prepare you well for eventual success in your exams. So you need to know the place, and the place should have enough space. It should be well lit. It should have a restful chair, a chair that is not really disturbing. You should not have a place that has a lot of distractions. You need to inform your people, your friends, your family members that it's now time to prepare for the exams. Let them not put a lot of demands on your time. It is time you're preparing for the exams. And this place that you have identified, it will help you to focus. It will help you to have total silence. And at times you may require even some background music. There are some of us who do so well when there is some small noise. Others will do so well when there is dead silence. So you need to identify yourself and identify the appropriate place. It is also recommended that you keep on varying the location. If you have been in the library from 6 a.m. all the way to 10, maybe you can change and go to the classroom up to 2 p.m. Then from there you can go to the house. Then from there you go to bed, and then the following morning you start the program. So you need to change the location. You need to take breaks. It is very, very important. Don't read as if it is the last minute. Exam is not the last thing. Take break. Do everything with moderation. Ensure that you are also eating well. You are drinking water regularly. You are happy. You are with the people who make you happy. And ensure that you are getting enough sleep. Don't transnight. If you transnight, that will be danger. That will be harmful to your success. Try to make short notes even as you read, and also try to test yourself by asking yourself some questions and providing answers. You can use the past papers, and at times you can submit your attempted questions to your teachers. They will guide you. Like myself, I like guiding my students. You bring your workings, I will mark for you for free, and I will guide you, and you know whether you are following the right path. And finally, my viewer, it is good you know your exam. It is good you know your exam. And when I say you know your exams, you need to know the format and the formulation of the questions. There are some papers that have only 5 questions, all of which are compulsory. Some papers have 7 questions, whereby you choose any 5. Some papers, they have section 1, section 2, or section A and B, and for each section, it has instructions. You need to be very familiar so that you do not go to the exam room to be surprised or even to do things in the wrong way. So you need to know your exam very well. You need to know how many questions you are required to answer. And needless to say, on the day of the exam, make sure you arrive early. Don't be a person who arrives late. unafika kwa mtihani, you are sweating all over, the paper has begun, you are anxious, you are fearful, you don't know whether you'll pass. So get to the venue of the exam in good time and be restful. Actually, those who do psychology, they tell us when you are relaxed, your memory is enhanced. You are able to remember things. But when you are not relaxed, when you are not settled, your memory is tampered with. So I want to wish you the very best, even as you continue preparing for your exams. I wish you great success. And if you have not joined us, we still welcome you to join us here at Destiny Technical Training Institute. It's a place where we have a conducive environment, we have a great team that we have assembled to ensure that you get value for your money. Thank you so much. Ensure you subscribe to my channel, you share, you like it, and talk to your friends about my channel and about Destiny Technical Training Institute. God bless you. It has been a pleasure having you. Thank you.